Have you heard of the concept of sleep divorce? Wow, that sounds awful, right? Let's talk about it. Hi, this is Liana, holistic intimacy coach. Welcome back to my channel. Here, I help you get your orgasmic intimacy. Or in this case, we're going to talk about how to not get divorced or why you want to get a sleep divorce instead. So, first of all, what is the expression referring to? Well, sleeping in separate beds or separate rooms. I'm going to read you a bit about the study that I'm basing this video on, so bear with me. More than a third of Americans say they occasionally or consistently sleep in another room from their partner. This is according to a survey from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. The practice of sleeping separately, known as sleep divorce, and it's meant to help you fall asleep and stay asleep without disruptions, such as snoring, stolen covers, or early alarms. So let me read you a bit more because this article is actually funny. First of all, let's look at the health stuff that they say here. We know that poor sleep can worsen your mood, and those who are sleep deprived are more likely to argue with their partners. True, so true. There may be some resentment towards the person causing the sleep disruption, which can negatively impact relationships. Getting a good night's sleep is important for both health and happiness, so it's no surprise that some couples choose to sleep apart for their overall well-being. Now, apparently this was done in a survey group of 2005 adults in the United States. And let me give you some percentages from the article. 43% of millennials engage in sleep divorce. That's me also, I'm a millennial, if you didn't know. Followed by 33% of those in Generation X, and 28% of those in Generation Z, and 22% of baby boomers. That's my mom. So I'm going to link the article below. You can check it out if you want more details. Now, I made an Instagram post, a carousel about this. Because this concept was actually, maybe the name was not what I knew, but the concept is not new to me. So first of all, where did I hear this first and foremost? Obviously from stories, tales. When we were reading stuff when we were kids, we knew that the king and the queen slept in different beds and rooms, obviously, and whenever they wanted to mate, they would pay visits to one another, specifically for that. So that's the first reference that I have, is from stories. I think everybody has those references. Secondly, in 2016, I think, when I parted ways with my Tai Chi teachers and the group there, some colleagues told me about my teachers that they thought it was weird that they slept in different bedrooms. Everybody was like, wow, that is so ugly. How can you sleep in different beds? What kind of a relationship is that? And my reaction was inside. I was like, that's not a bad idea. Why don't these people know? Secondly, I started reading about that. And it turns out the first thing that I heard is that in Eastern cultures, it is considered that when you sleep, you release a lot of the energies that you pick up throughout the day. And not all of the stuff that you release is pleasant or pinky or cute. So during sleep, we cleanse ourselves also. It's a natural, energetic work that our being does. Yeah, it can sometimes happen that while you're cleansing, you get nightmares or you get all sorts of dreams. That, from an energetic perspective, it is your psyche processing stuff and really bringing them from the subconscious and releasing them somehow. A lot of people fear negative dreams, but in a way, they bring up stuff that is hidden or not yet in your conscious mind or awareness. They bring it up and they release it, at least part of it, because you also have to do a conscious work of cleansing, obviously. So From an energetic perspective, it does serve couples better to sleep separately from this point of view. Another reason for sleeping apart or in different rooms, from an energetic perspective, it's related to polarity. If you spend a lot of time together, you're going to get demagnetized. So basically, you take on energies from one another in the relationship, and therefore the energy is uniform. There's no polarity, there's no intensity, there's no feeling of different separateness, there's no distance in a way, energetically speaking. So the desire, the electric or sexual charge goes down. So time spent apart and including in the nighttime helps with maintaining polarity. I did a post, also another real post on Instagram, where I was talking about how you know if a couple is meant to be together. And I was talking about compatibility, but from a different perspective. And one of the stuff that I was talking about there was also separate bathrooms. From an energetic perspective, you're also releasing stuff in sneezing, coughing, crying, sleeping, going to the bathroom, taking showers, and all of that. And I'm not going to be plastic with other stuff that you do in the bathroom, but it does, it's a good way to maintain attraction and mystery and magnetism in a relationship where, you know, you sleep separately, you have your private moments. You know, it was that saying, the place where the throne upon which the king sits alone. So it does make sense, okay, to have some distance with stuff that is not so, it's more delicate, it's more intense. I know there are couples that actually do the opposite, where I think it's a mistake. They kind of kill it completely. They stay in the bathroom as they brush their teeth, as they use the toilet, and all of that. That, in my understanding of energy work and also my coaching perspective, that is a mistake. I would say use separate bathrooms, do your intimate stuff, cleansing, refreshing stuff separately, and come out fresh. And when it comes to sleeping together, aside from the energy work, because we're going to get back to the sleep divorce, another reason for this is simply to have an uninterrupted sleep. As the article said, you can snore. I say you can cough, you can hiccup, you can just toss and turn in the bed, maybe one of the partners, and wake up the other person, especially if you sleep like rabbits, like I do. I kind of hear everything. So yeah, some people do that. Also, they are very light sleepers. Other people, you can chop wood next to them and they won't have a problem. But some people actually can get disturbed in their sleep because of that. Some people wake up during the nighttime, especially people with a small bladder, and they go to the bathroom. It's annoying for the other person to be woken up with this kind of stuff. So if one person has an interrupted sleep, it's not necessary for the other person to also have it. So there are many pragmatic reasons for which sleeping also apart, because nobody's saying like sleep your entire relationship apart, obviously, but take sometimes some days to sleep separately. That is good for the relationship. I'm going to put a disclaimer here. If you have an anxious attachment style, this might raise your anxiety levels even higher. So for those that have, let's say, an avoidant attachment style, probably this will work because they won't feel choked or overwhelmed by the presence of another too soon, too fast, too much. Ideally, you want to have a stable attachment style. I forgot the word. Balanced, equanimous, the harmonic one, the one that doesn't have problems. It's worth working on it. Sleeping in separate bedrooms is not a tragedy. It doesn't mean that your partner's gonna leave you or they're no longer interested in you. To the contrary, it keeps the relationship young for much longer. This brings us to the third reason why you would want to choose to sleep separately also. It brings about longing and anticipation. And this one, it's actually an aphrodisiac because you gotta, I was speaking about this in the beginning, creating distance. It's like in the beginning when you barely knew the person, you were wondering what were they doing, were they thinking of you, and so on. Actually, good not to enter. I think I'm going to do a separate video for this. Not to enter a relationship like head on first, and whoa, too soon, too fast, with too much. And it's no wonder that it's not sustainable over the long run. So, stuff that will let the relationship breathe, let the people breathe, is going to be extremely helpful. And I think extremely wise, sustainable in the long run. So I think that's a very good strategy, in my opinion. Okay, there's no need to rush. You got your entire lives. For those of you that are thinking really long term. Now, what is something that can help, whether you choose to sleep together or apart? Because I was mentioning about the energetic part in the beginning, where you shed energies. It is important, in my opinion, before bedtime, whether you are sleeping alone or with your beloved, to do somatic work, to cleanse yourself, like take a shower, clean off, or just stay under the running water. That's also good. You don't have to put on soaps and disturb your sebum balance and all of that. But just stay under the water and let some energy cleanse itself. Do a breath work, do a prayer, light a candle, stuff that will help you cleanse. It's good hygiene. Ideally, you would want to have this kind of rituals before intimacy also, like before you make love. I know that not too many people, a lot of people struggle with foreplay and with setting the atmosphere. So, wow, do this every night. For some people, this would be torture. It's too much. But if you're really sensitive to this stuff, doing something before bedtime, single, partnered, with your beloved, whether you sleep apart, whatever, really helpful. It helps the quality of your sleep. And it also helps if you're spending time and doing stuff. It helps you to really switch from the outside world to the really deep, intense, beautiful, intimate world. So I think sleep hygiene contains many things. Number one, no heavy meals because you don't want to mess up your sleep with digesting a super heavy meal. Number two, I think good hydration and stay under the water. And why not put something really soothing that can help you sleep or can help you feel more attractive in intimacy? I think it looks old school or it sounds old school, but I think it's a really, really romantic and beautiful and honoring way of making sure that you are polarized. Okay, everybody's in their beautiful energy. For women, this will make them feel softer, more, I don't know, juicier, more succulent. And for gentlemen, well, maybe they want to shut off their energy from the day with hitting a boxing bag, or I don't know, doing some push-ups and then going to the shower and staying underwater also. That might do the trick. Who knows? Like everybody can create their own routine, but the idea is that what will help you, whether you sleep together or apart, is some kind of practice. I definitely encourage including somatic practices, touch, sound, breath, awareness to everything that is going on. So those will help the sleep divorce be very, very effective. And I think the expression of sleep divorce is not really the most fortunate one or the most auspicious one. I believe it's just staying, like being intimate with yourself, having your own time, your private time, whether it's in the bathroom, in the bedroom, wherever. You have time apart, time for yourself, actually. Now, if you want to consider getting into the habit of developing these routines for yourself, check out my Patreon community. I have over 100 practices in English and then over 100 practices in my native language. If you guys are curious what I sound like in Romanian, check out Patreon. And yeah, actually use them. All right. It doesn't take hours. It takes 10, 15 minutes, sometimes under 10 minutes to do a practice. And over the long run, you develop this habit, you become, I think, a more attractive and mysterious partner, because you don't have to do them with your partner. You can do them on your own. This is your stuff, right? Okay, so I'll see you in the community, and let me know what you think about the sleep divorce thing. Would you do it? Would you think that's weird? Would you get anxious about what's going on with your partner? I mean, what's the impact on your relationship if you sleep apart so much? I would love to know. Drop me a comment. See ya. Bye.